of investing.
Big discussion right now on Social Security and the 1.7% cost of living increase for 2013. It's one of the smallest since automatic adjustments for inflation were adopted back in 1975.
Our next guest is definitely not holding back when it comes to his opinion on Social Security. Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. And seniors get very, very upset when they get these little, if no, cost of living increases in their Social Security checks.
That's because the government has built a dependence on itself for those receiving Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. When FDR and the Democrats first came up with the idea of Social Security, FDR promised, we'll be holding your money for you. This is your money. We will hold it. It's a nest egg. It'll grow. And when you retire, we'll give it back to you. At the same time he was saying that, he dispatched Justice Department lawyers into the Supreme Court to resist constitutional challenges to Social Security. And in their argument, they said to the court, it's not the people's money, it's the government's money. And the government doesn't even have to give them back. It's part of the government's general funds. And guess what? The Supreme Court agreed with them. So there is no contract between Social Security contributors, which is the three of us and everybody who's watching us and works, and Social Security recipients. That money is given by the political will of Congress, not by any legal obligation to do so.
It's essentially in treasuries. It's the federal government borrowed it from the trust fund.
Well, yes, because the money that is deducted from our pay here every week is spent immediately by the federal government, but the money that is paid to our parents and grandparents is borrowed. So if that's not a Ponzi scheme, I don't know what is.
Well, that's what I was just about to say, and you said it right there. So you're making an argument. You're essentially saying, hey, this whole thing's a Ponzi scheme. It's just a complete scam.
Yes, it is. And that's why as long ago as 1975 the increases were built in, so Congress could resist the political pressure from Social Security recipients. Hey, give us more. They could say, you know what, it'll automatically kick in. It'll kick in for inflation. And when 1 + 2 + 3 is added up and divided by A minus B minus C, some calculation. I'm just giving you a hypothetical example of what the calculation looks like. You'll get your more money.
Question. So what's the purpose of making that argument now, in pragmatic terms? In other words, anybody who talks about Social Security, they're debating, should we raise the retirement age? Should we do this, that? Nobody in the main, in the political discourse is saying, hey, just get rid of the whole thing. It's a scam.
Well, very few people are saying that. Actually, Paul Ryan has suggested getting rid of it or reducing it, not for current recipients of it, but for people like the three of us who are not yet recipients of Social Security would be given certain options. And people who are, forgive me, Dagan, younger than any of the three of us.
See, I look younger because of the facelift.
Of course you do, which would be given a lot of options at the beginning of their work years. Right. And among those options would be to keep the money yourself and to care for yourself. And the reason Congressman Ryan has advanced this, again, it wouldn't affect anybody currently receiving it, is he knows and has acknowledged it's a Ponzi scheme. It will eventually go bankrupt, that more money is going out than is coming in, and at some point it won't be able to make ends meet.
Ridiculous. We're talking about Social Security. That fund exhausted in 21 years. Medicare, the fund there, exhausted in 2024. So much sooner than that. Yep. Very easy to fix Social Security, though. It's just money. It has nothing to do with anybody's health.
Look, I don't agree with Congressman Ryan's budgetary proposals because they borrow money. To me, a budget you should spend just what you take in. But I do agree with him on this. He is one of the few politicians in the country willing to address the fact that you're right. In just one generation from now, they will not be able to make ends meet. They will not be able to borrow enough money to pay their Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare obligations. So the time to address that is now before it's too late.
Easy fix for Social Security. And then you try and take on Medicare, and you're dealing with life and death issues.
There's too many people dependent on the federal government, and now the federal government's about to run out of cash. What do we do?
Thank you, Judge.
Pleasure, guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Well said.
That's all we could do for now.